Hey everyone, it's Cosmo, and welcome to another memory card, the series where I like to show off something that I think is really cool, or just talk about a bunch of games that I've played recently. But I don't want to talk about a game that I've played recently. I want to talk about a game that I played almost an entire year ago. In fact, I want all of you to play it too. So the game you're looking at right now is Boku no Natsuyasumi 2. It's a game about a boy who spends his summer vacation with his extended family out on a little coastal town in Japan. This game was released as a Japanese PS2 exclusive all the way back in 2002, but fortunately it's now playable thanks to the translating efforts of Hilltop, who I have mentioned so many times on this channel. Check their stuff out, they do a ton of cool translations for a bunch of older and obscure games. But the reason I'm talking about this game now is because it's summer, and that's what this game is all about. That's what the name of the game translates to, actually. My Summer Vacation 2. And there's actually a neat little thing that you can do with this game. You see, the game itself takes place over the entire month of August, all 31 days. So that's what I spent my entire August doing last year. For each day that passed in the real world, I would play through one day in this game, which was about 20 to 50 minutes, I want to say. And you know, I think it was a really cool, one-of-a-kind thing, one-of-a-kind experience. I don't think there's any game that I've played for an entire month straight. If I really thought about it, I could probably count on one hand the amount of games that I've spent more than just a couple of weeks with. But before I go into my actual thoughts on this game and what that experience was like, I reckon I should tell you guys more about this game itself so you know what this is. So this game is about a boy named Boku who has to spend his entire summer vacation with his aunt and uncle and cousins. I think this game takes place in the 70s, by the way. And over the course of the entire game, you meet other people who live in this little town, you collect some bugs, you go fishing or swimming, whatever. It doesn't really matter because it's your summer vacation. You make the most of it yourself. There is a story here, but there's no real objective to this game otherwise. So when I started playing this game, I didn't really have a goal. I didn't even know much about the series. I've heard of it before, but I didn't know what to expect from this game. So I just went through the motions. I got acquainted with the controls and all the people I could meet. I did some fishing and checked all the things that reset daily. I also found some neat hidden stuff. My first impression of this game was that it was cool and cute, and I definitely saw the appeal. It even reminded me of some of the games I've talked about previously on this channel, like Tulip and Moon Remix. But I'll also be honest and say, this game didn't really click for me immediately. And thankfully, I figured out why that was pretty early on. I actually just said why it didn't click. I was going through the motions. I was going through this checklist of things in my mind that I felt I had to accomplish each day for whatever reason, when I really didn't. And that's gonna bring me to the thing that I think made this game way more enjoyable for me. I assigned myself the goal of giving Boku something different to do each day. At the end of each night, he writes in his little journal the most notable thing that happened to him that day. So it became my personal goal to never have him write an entry that just said something along the lines of, "Nothing too interesting happened today," or "This day was just like a day that I had before." I don't even know if that's possible in this game, but I didn't want to find out either. Once I did get into this new rhythm of actually trying to make the most of my summer though, then this game actually became way more fun to me. It was a bit of a slow burn for me to enjoy this game as much as I did, but once I did get into it, I really got into it. There's just so much for you to discover, so many storylines to stumble into. I'm not gonna spoil any of them because I really do want you guys to play this game yourself this August, but man, some of these, they really get to you. I would say this is a game about a child enjoying his summer vacation and playing with other children and just having the time of his life, right? But it's not a childish game if that makes any sense. I wouldn't say it's a game that deals with mature subject matter and themes either, but things like the character dialogue and their relationships and the way they all interact with each other, it makes the game feel very down to earth, realistic, normal, relatable, and that just endeared me to this game even even more once I got to progress the story each day and see everything develop. I'm really not kidding when I say there's a lot to discover in this game either. There's definitely some bottle caps that I missed, despite me searching this entire map up and down. But here's the other thing. I don't know if I would want to play this game again, or any of the other games in the series, or any other games inspired by it. This might sound crazy to some of you, but I feel like I'd just be trying to recapture that magic and fun that I had in my first playthrough. I think this game wraps up nicely. I can't speak for anyone else, but the way I played through this game, I felt pretty complete when I finished it. I feel like I've seen everything this game has to offer, despite me not actually seeing everything it has to offer. And I don't feel so inclined to revisit it. At least I don't feel that way 1 year later. Maybe in another year my feelings will change. As I was saying though, I highly suggest you guys check this game out for August. It'll give you something fun to do just taking this game one day at a time. It's a pretty cozy experience. Those are my thoughts on Boku no Natsuyasumi 2. But this memory card isn't over yet. I have a bunch of footage of other games that I'm sitting on, and I want to clear some of the storage, so let me ramble about some of the other games I've been playing too. Starting with... You guys like Avatar, right? So with the new movie and everything else going on with the series, I've been in an Avatar mood lately, which means rewatching The Last Airbender for the 1000th time. But I also wanted to replay the Legend of Korra game. My history with this show is a lot more scattered than my history with The Last Airbender. I made sure to catch as many episodes of that show as I could, but I only caught Korra every so often. I could hardly keep up with the show at all. But all that combined with the fact that I remember strongly disliking the video game of The Legend of Korra that came out sometime in 2014, it made me think that now was the perfect time to return to it. This game is a beat-em-up developed by Platinum of all studios. This was when they were in their licensed era, and they also made TMNT and Transformers games. All three now delisted from all digital storefronts, by the way, so good luck trying to buy them anywhere. Normally, when I make videos about games I've returned to after not having played them for years, I think I skew on them not aging so well. But I gotta say, this one was great. This game is so fun, man. I remember disliking this game so much, mostly because I was annoyed by its combat, but having replayed it, I think I was just filtered by having no skill. It's not the most intricate combat system I've ever dealt with, but it's fun enough. Switching between the elements, that hit stun when you pull off a strong attack, the QTE when you get a nice counter, and the weight that this game makes you feel with each of your individual attacks. It just all hits the spot. For a licensed game, I think some genuine thought was put into it. There's also an original story here with a new antagonist. I've read some complaints that he doesn't have as much depth as most Avatar antagonists, which is fair because that's one of the best parts about this series. But I also say, who cares? It's a beat 'em up. He's one of those chaos incarnate types, but I still thought he was pretty fun just for this game. He despises the entire Avatar lineage, and he has a great design too. And one of the better parts about this game is that it doesn't overstay its welcome. You can clear this game in just a few hours, which is great. It does what it needs to do well enough. This was a fun game, and I should really give the show another chance sometime soon. And the last game I want to talk about today is Skies of Arcadia. I mentioned a while ago that I've been in the mood to play a JRPG again. I don't really get around to them too often, but when I am in the mood for them, I'm really into them. So I've been enjoying Skies of Arcadia. But it wasn't fully my choice to play this game. I'll explain. So this gaming podcast that I listen to, Back of the Rack, they have this Discord server where they recently started doing this Game of the Month thing. Kinda like a book club, but for video games. And the game that was chosen and voted on for us to play in the month of May was this, Skies of Arcadia. It kinda rolled over to June because it's long and I don't think everyone got around to it, but I've been playing the hell out of this game and I've been loving it. It's another one of those that I've started a bunch but never got too far in. I'm determined to beat it this time around though because I have actual incentive to. But as for my thoughts on this game, it's not generic, but it feels very by the books for a JRPG. I'm not a JRPG expert aficionado, but I don't think this game is doing anything too special when it comes to the characters, or the combat, or even the story itself. But I'm okay with that, because that's also the experience that I've kind of been craving. I wanted something simple where I could just mindlessly grind and handle some side quests for a while. For as long as I've been playing this game too, it still doesn't even feel like I'm halfway through the game yet. And I'm still not burned out on it, so that must be a good sign, right? Also, I'm not saying this game doesn't have anything going for it either. I think Sky Pirates is a pretty fun concept. It actually put me in the mood to replay Skyward Sword as well. Side note, this is one of those games where I feel like you could use it as a litmus test to determine whether or not someone has good taste. But back to Skies of Arcadia. I don't actually have anything else to say about this game. I still need to get through it. But I'm gonna go back to editing now because there's another video I want to have out pretty soon, and it's not gonna get done if I keep talking, so goodbye.